Joyce.
That might be the closer one.
We might have to do more than one. Oh.
Yeah, because you got Bend, you got Spokane, you got Grants Pass.
I haven't been able to get a hold of anyone at Grants Pass, and I called 3 times.
My niece.
Has clinic been pushed back?
Oh, thanks. I told them.
Those people are going to start showing up.
Yeah, at 8:30.
Well, they shouldn't be showing up at 8:30.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Well, I mean, I'm here every day, so.
People show up as early as 8:15 sometimes.
We can call them later on today. We can have a chat with them later on this morning. We don't want to upset the operation. You're not calling back for that reason. It's fine. So,
oh no, the patients I'm talking about, because we got clinics.
No, I realize
at
it.
9.
Yeah. So if that's going to slow things down, we can call them back later on this morning. So we can.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we just call it?
And then the other clinic dialing in. Michelle, was the other clinic calling the 1-800 number you said?
Both Grants Pass, Riverside, Spokane, and Ben are all supposed to call in, but I'm wondering if...
I'll just put you on speakerphone so you can hear. Okay?
Is that Amanda?
Probably.
So maybe we could try Grants Pass and call Grants,
Patrick,
not Grants
call
Pass,
Jim for a
Ben,
speakerphone.
and see if they're, and
Okay.
and then call the other one. Riverside was calling in independently because she didn't want to drive from Hammond back to, so.
Maybe I could give you some extra vacation to come to this meeting.
Oh. You look fabulous.
Hey,
Your hair's
no,
different.
you're on speakerphone during the meeting.
It's just what? Oh, I think it's great.
What? So you guys will call Janice later and tell her about the meeting, because she can't come in today.
I spoke to Janice, and she offered me to take the notes for her,
Okay.
because
Yeah, she can't come in. She just had surgery.
she said it was too early for you to even call in. Mornings are typically early.
Yeah. Give you some bag shape for that.
I was talking to her last week. So
I would speak up.
Yep. They haven't started the meeting yet. Hang on.
Here's one of our people. THCF, this is well. Can you repeat it? I'm going to put you on speakerphone and see if you can hear. Well, I mean, it's just a room full of people. You're the only one on the conference call. I can put you on speakerphone. Here we go. Can you hear me, Rick? Hey, Ricky. Okay, well, let me call you right back because it said the headset. Well, maybe I can change it. I'll call you right back. Bye.
All right, we're all set. Thank you guys for showing up early today. Appreciate it. And I know there's been a lot of confusion and upset and drama last couple of weeks. So we wanted to come in and just have a town hall with you guys and explain what's been going on and what the plans are going forward. You're free to record this, obviously. I know some of you are. I see union cards on the table. This is interesting. We've got you know, we can answer as many questions as you guys want to throw at us. We don't have anything to hide. Everything that we've done to protect what we've been investing in from last November is quite public at the court level, and we had to file a temporary restraining order. That's all publicly available. You guys are free to look at that and ask us questions about that. We're here to talk about the banking and what happened last week, and then talk about what we're planning on doing going forward. We circulated the deck to everybody through Bo. Thank you very much for that. Just to help explain what we've been doing and working on the last couple of months in terms of, you know, refocusing the clinic's business on servicing patients and integrating patients with medical products as a way to help them as opposed to growing for them, which hasn't worked for us as a business. So with just, yeah.
No disrespect, but about your business plan, there's some things about there that aren't legal. Like
Okay.
treating the patients with the cannabis and
It's not
selling it to
legal in the
them.
state of Oregon.
That's not legal.
We're not
Doctors can't be
selling.
associated with the treatment of the patient.
So we're not here to discuss page by page on the business plan. Those decks don't go down to the level of granularity that answer the regulatory questions on selling patients and dealing with the patients. It's a marketing deck. It's something that you show someone that doesn't have 150 pages. It's a distillation basically of what we're trying to do. So it's not going to cover all of those areas. So certainly, if one looked at it with that level of granularity from what we've shown you, you'd be like, well, this isn't necessarily going to work. But we just don't have the time, and people don't have the patience to read through that.
Right.
We definitely understand that. So that's the idea of what we've done since we came on. We met a lot of you last year in November, December. We put quite a bit of money into the company, and what we're hoping to do is to rationalize what we have now in terms of what's really, really working and what we can make work going forward, and that is working with you guys, working with patients, working with opening new clinics, opening services that we can hire more doctors for and help even more patients increase our patient count. We're not interested in growing cannabis ourselves or giving it away or having grow operations, trying to manage that process. That's just not what we do here. What we want to do here is patient and physician centric and focus on providing a safe and responsible environment for the patients to come into across Oregon, Washington, and move into other states and have it's a very similar approach going forward. So to do that, we need to make a lot of changes. We've had to make changes to banking because of normal things, and Alan's going to talk to that. That's always a complicated and frustrating process, and we saw the result of that last week with everyone's paychecks. The email system crashing, that's also very unfortunate. You know, a lot of that's a result of looking at what, you know, was sent by IT. A lot of it just needs money to fix. You know, that's running on a Riser FS platform, which shouldn't be used for email, and that's probably why it's crashing. So we're going to replace that this week with Google Apps, which you guys will all have online scheduling, online calendar, email, messaging, the whole 9 yards, but it's managed by Google as opposed to a 15-year-old computer. So things like that, that's what we're doing. You know, we're going to be moving out of here. We're going to be moving into a new clinic. We haven't decided what the location is. But this isn't an efficient workspace for us. It's not efficient in the sense that how we run businesses in Canada or how we can envision running a business going forward. So I think we can do a lot more for patients and retain more earnings with less space and more focus. Check this one. No worries. So that's part of our plan, is to save money where we don't need to spend. So we are going to be making cuts, but we're making cuts in areas that aren't going to affect the patients and hopefully aren't going to affect you guys very much. Things like newspaper subscriptions or rent on clinics that aren't being used properly, or $40,000 a year and renting a car as opposed to leasing one. You know, like this kind of stuff. Those are areas of rationalization that take time and they're frustrating because we haven't had, and this is normal with these types of situations, we haven't had the level of visibility on costs or certain areas that we would like to have had. So we need to and we are coming to the realization that we can make this business something incredible, and that's really why we put our money into it and why we keep coming down here and you guys keep seeing us walking around is we understand what you guys have been working on. You know, we're working on something very similar in Canada, which is providing responsible access to medical cannabis and cannabis products for medical patients. And that's really what we want to do is a continuation of that. And we need to do that our way because we bought the company. You know, we're running things now, and we're responsible, and we're responsible to you people. We were responsible to you last week for your paychecks, and you know that took longer than anticipated. And we're sorry for that. We screwed up. You know, that was a mistake, and we worked our asses off to fix it. We think it has been fixed. So hopefully that won't be an issue going forward. I know it's been an issue for a long time. You know, paychecks being late and not enough funding. It's never been enough money. This company's never had enough money, and it's never had a business plan that allows it to sustainably operate, which is why we've had to put over $1 million into it in the last year, and why we've had to make the changes that we've made. And there's more changes coming, but they're all to benefit our original investment, to benefit the services that you know you guys are conducting now, which is helping patients access cannabis through the physicians. And we want to integrate them, you know, more effectively into medical products, away from inhalants, more towards topicals, sublinguals, things that are titratable, things that physicians can encourage patients to use without knowing they're going to be inhaling them, and being able to measure the efficacy and the response on what their ailment is when we see them again in the future. So that's what we're working on. We're not going to stay in Oregon. You know, we're going to move into, we're licensed, we have space available to us now in Illinois and in Nevada, in Reno and Las Vegas. So we'll be quickly opening clinics in those locations as well. We put another $250,000 of our own money in last week to fund the operation. When we had to do what's called a rights offering.
They fully diluted my shares down to about 10% of what I had. Maybe even less than that, maybe 100% actually.
So
I went from about $1 million wealth down to about $10,000. They fully diluted me and Paul's shares while basically throwing Paul out of here, firing him and putting a restraining order on him. Initially it said that he couldn't talk to even his family members. Yeah, that's what happened. Exactly. Basically they stole the company from us. Fully legally, he told me last week on Friday on the phone. He said, we didn't break any laws at all while stealing the money from you. Yeah, that's what happened. That's the fucking facts here. Okay? So everybody understands what happened here. The company was stolen from us, and Paul was kicked out, and then a restraining order placed on him to not talk to any of his employees, vendors, patients, all the people that he's been dealing with all these years. Yeah. That's what's happened. That is absolute fact. Legally, he did this apparently.
So he can't even come into the building he pays for.
Yeah, exactly. He's the leaser of this building, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
what kind of business protocol is that?
I realize this is difficult. There's a lot of families.
Yeah, and as far as that cash flow last week, we were informed that there was going to be $100,000 transferred into the account not last Thursday, the Thursday before that. And if it would have happened that day, it probably would have showed up on payday. But they didn't do what they said they were going to do, just like they normally do. And then when it finally came in, they finally transferred it, I think it was like Wednesday. It finally showed up on Friday at 4 p.m. Okay, that's the facts. And it was $50,000. Okay? So it's always a day late and a dollar short. $1 million didn't go to this company. $1 million went to
everywhere else.
Grow stuff. It didn't go to this place at all.
7 days later,
and it wasn't even
after
$1 million.
payday, my account's still overdrawn.
Yeah, exactly.
$866.
Yeah, exactly. That's the facts here.
And I apologize. I mean,
Apologize and don't do anything.
Do you always conduct meetings like this? Is this
I was
normally
normally
how
helping
you
out.
manage? Is this how he normally manages a meeting?
I am very.
Actually, he's a really good manager.
Anybody?
He's been running
Anybody?
this
I'm
company
pretty
for
frank
years.
about what I'm saying here. I'm not going to freaking cut
We've
any
had this
Yeah,
company
Bill
for
doesn't
13
lie.
years.
facts. Yeah.
13 years.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And it's been running
But
just
you
fine
obviously
without you
do.
guys.
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
It has.
No, excuse me.
No. Excuse me. I've been able to cash my paycheck just about every month that I've worked here. Except for, I don't know, now. Now.
If I can explain something to you, we hadn't come in, and it's not Paul's company, because there was a gentleman, Mr. Yassin, who's been funding this company for $1 million, which you don't know about.
Okay.
You have no clue about.
Okay,
Funding
so why is he
Funding this company, funding this company, it used to be called SMART, which was Stanford, something, right? Yeah, they put it into that.
appointed you.
This
to
is
take care of
Empower
this company.
Healthcare right here.
What is wrong
This is the
with
corporation Empower Healthcare.
You,
Never
you
received any
guys,
funds.
this is what's wrong.
This company never received $1
This
million.
is what's wrong
This
with
is
you.
a
The
family.
Canadian corporation had $1
And
million.
taking over a good person like Paul's business. That's what's wrong with me.
Okay.
All right.
We understand what's wrong with you, man. We understand it. You made your point. Thank you.
You're
So what
trying
I
to
was
put a
trying to
family.
say,
Please get back to.
yeah. I know people are upset, and I know people are upset that Paul's not here, and I know that there's a lot of family here, but it's, that's the way it is. I mean, what you just said, some of what Bill said is not true.
Give me my $1 million back. You told me that I was worth $1 million.
On paper, when did I say
And
that?
then you fully diluted my shares
You
with
just said it.
$250,000.
Okay, but it's not.
I had the option. I had the option. It was all internal. I had the option to buy $10,000 worth of shares so that I could stay in my current scenario with the stocks. But I don't have $10,000 to do that, so they fully diluted everything I have.
We
Yeah.
just understand what Bill's talking about. A rights offering is just that. The current shareholders, of which Bill was,
Bill, what?
and Paul.
Was. Now I'm was. Now I don't own the fucking shares. He just said was. Yeah. Do I not own shares? In fact, let's get down to it. How many shares do these people right here own of this corporation? Because the plan was to give them 5% of the company. Now, how many shares do they have today of this company?
None.
Tell me, please, honestly.
I don't know.
In honesty.
Yeah.
Just answer.
I'll tell you,
Nothing.
it's zero.
Nothing.
The numbers, the paperwork I've seen, it's zero. You guys got nothing from this. All you got is a potential job in the future if they don't
If
freaking
they
screw
don't
that up too.
shut it
They're going to
down.
fix the move out of here is what I understand.
Yeah, he already said he's moving out of Oregon.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
when,
fucking
and when
with
he
it.
was questioned
So how did
about
this
where we
bill
were
move?
going to move, he wasn't
He
even,
said he was
wasn't
moving.
nice
People,
about it.
can we listen? The argument
I
has to stop.
am talking. Yeah, you are listening. I am talking.
I don't
okay?
want to hear
Yeah.
the argument between family members and stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to hear the plan.
Yeah, I'm telling you
I'm
right now
done
what
with that.
happened. Okay?
No one cares about
Yeah.
the plan.
Well, no, people care about the plan and they say,
We care
okay,
about
well, where are
the
we going to
plan
move?
More
And because I'm going to have the
More
commute. The person was told that it didn't matter and they could quit if they wanted to. Yeah, and he'll tell me right now that I can quit right now if I want to.
You're free to go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
free to go. Yeah. That's how much they care. That's how much they care about each individual person here.
I tell you what, we care about you as much as you care
Okay, then
about
why'd you
us.
steal $25
Oh, that's
million
probably
worth
true.
of
That's
supplements?
probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
That's
The
absolutely
data, the medical data that we have is worth about $20 to $25 million. Yeah,
You stole what?
yeah, you stole it.
We bought it.
You bought it. Then why don't I have 50? Me and Paul both have 50% of the shares, and this group right here have another 5%, if that's the case. Because why would we give away $25 million worth of data to just have a job? Oh, me, I get a job. Paul's fired. Okay.
Yeah, and why did
Yeah.
Paul get a restraining order? I mean, why did you guys do that?
That's outlined in the restraining order. All the demand, it's a public document. I'm not going to address the points to it here. If you want to go through the restraining order, all the points that were.
No, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth,
Do
please.
you have a copy of it?
No, I don't.
Okay, because I didn't bring the restraining order here to talk to the points in the restraining
You mentioned the
order.
restraining order at the beginning of the meeting.
And I mentioned very calmly
Okay, but
that the restraining order is a public document. You're free to look at it. Because there's family here, I'm not going to go through it point by point and get into an emotional argument.
No, I just wondered why you would try to do something like that.
To save the company in a nutshell.
We felt
You mean take our company?
To save.
Okay, we felt it was in.
You weren't saving
was
it.
Outlined
In their pocket.
it's outlined in the document why we made those decisions, and we were fully supported by the courts of Oregon in what we did. We did nothing improper, and we did everything that we thought was fair and responsible to keep this business going. So that's what we're doing. Okay, we're all flawed individuals. We're not perfect. We've made mistakes, and last week we made some mistakes. There was mistakes in banking that caused us pressure, and I'm sorry about that. I'm apologizing. I'm not here to say that we didn't do anything wrong. Like, we've made mistakes. And we'll continue to make mistakes. We're not perfect, but we're trying. We're here to try. We're here to try and continue this business operation. We are looking to move out of Oregon in the sense that we're trying to take the company national. We're trying to increase the footprint. We're trying to move into new markets. Ohio just opened up medical cannabis. I'm not asking you to leave Oregon. We want to base the operations here in Oregon because that's where the company was formed. That's a good narrative.
But to put a restraining order on the very gentleman that started and made this business what it is for the past 16 years, don't you think that's really unethical?
The reasons for the restraining order are outlined in the restraining order, and I don't want to engage with, again, you're Paul's wife. This is a difficult conversation to have about why your husband is no longer involved in the business.
Because this is unheard of, what you guys are doing.
It's not really. I mean, it's not uncommon for founders to have a different vision for the company on a go-forward basis than the investors. And we've done a lot of startups before, and this one is challenging insofar that it's the community of family and friends that have been involved for a decade, and we're sensitive of that. We're not here to try and break anything. We're here to try and grow it. That's why we're investing in the company. And that's why we're here today, calmly talking to you guys and explaining to you what we've done and what we're doing going forward. We're not here to point fingers and get into an argument or a yelling match. I'm here to try and explain and try to answer questions. And in regards to the TRO, it's right there in black and white. And we can, yes.
I understand the TRO is important to a lot of you, but I'd really like to know about some of the infrastructure changes that you plan on making, because that really affects everyone who's currently here.
Sure.
And the TRO thing, I think we can have smaller discussions with people who it's really important to, and then so the rest of us can kind of find out what your plan is going forward, especially as it, infrastructure changes to whatever, because just talking about what's that it doesn't, these sides are not going to agree. So maybe if we could just table that one piece and talk about stuff that we can all
Sure.
find out about.
Thanks, Michelle. So, and I can come back, and I'm here to talk to people. I'm here to communicate. So we can have one-on-one.
Yeah, that was my only question, so go forward.
And I know you guys want to yell at me. I'm the guy to yell at. So go ahead. I get it. That's my job. That's why I'm here. So what are we doing going forward? Infrastructure, email system last week went down. That's frustrating as heck. No one likes that. So we're ripping that out and putting in one that billions of people use, which is Google Apps. And that's a robust system. Just let me finish. So that's a robust system that we use in clinics across Canada now. It's low cost, it's easy to support, it's easy to manage, and that's something that we'll be layering in over the next few weeks while we work with Schobeck and Associates to mitigate some of the current IT issues. So what's your question?
Isn't Google a little less secure than what we're running with now? Because we're dealing with patient documents and things like that, HIPAA regulations, and
it definitely shouldn't be
and Google is very unsecure.
It's not going to be we're going to use Google's infrastructure for email. It's still going to be a domain-based system. There'll still be the ability to encrypt HIPAA files. Okay, and we're very aware of the electronic transmissions and the requirements for that over electronic infrastructure. Very aware of that, which is why we're trying to get away from the current system that we have in place, where we don't have any visibility, we don't have any transparency in how we're encrypting our data or how it's being transported. So that's why we're moving away from it. So great question. We're also going to move to a better phone system. We're going to centralize and have an IP-based phone system that'll be easier for everyone to use, which will integrate with scheduling. That should work as well. I'm not being videotaped, am I? So I don't want to be.
Oh, you said we could.
IP-based phone system here.
No, voice recording is fine. I just don't want I don't want to be recorded and put up anywhere. So,
Well, I'm not putting it anywhere.
Okay. So as long as this video that you're making isn't for public use. That's
No,
great.
it's not.
Okay, thanks very much. So.
I don't know how to record without doing that.
Where was I? Oh, infrastructure. So on phone systems, so we're going to look at doing a VoIP system as well, and that'll be easier because we're going state by state. Right now you have operations in California, Washington, and Oregon. We're looking to do Nevada right away, moving into Illinois also. So the most cost-effective way is to utilize and those clinics together in a secure manner, which is easier to manage, is to have all that as a VoIP-based system, which we'll be bringing in as well. This is something we're familiar with in Canada. In terms of banking, hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have all the banking sorted out. We did have some serious issues, obviously, with the drama around the TRO and signing authority and getting checks cleared and transfers done. That was stressful on everybody, and again, I'm here to apologize for that. That was a mistake, and we're trying to alleviate that so it never happens again. We're trying very hard. Other things, mobile clinics, we're looking at ways to make those much more efficient. You know, that's been a great way to reach out and get to patients and drive revenue and keep everybody working. We want to continue doing that. We want to do it in a more efficient way. One of the things that, you know, we looked at is we spend over $40,000 a year renting cars. So we're probably just going to lease a minivan, hire a driver, and have a professional driver with less liability driving the teams around. That'll probably save us $25,000 right there. Things like that. Those are things that we want to do to cut costs. You know, this is a people-driven business. We need people to communicate, people that are that want to work in what we're doing. You know, hopefully that's why you guys are here. I know you're here to yell at us as well, and we get that. But your passion comes from the fact that this is a passionate job. We're helping people. That's why I do it. Most people know my history. Like, I'm doing this for business reasons. I'm doing this for personal reasons. I think a lot of us are doing it. A lot of us are in the same boat. And a lot of people are doing this because they need a job, and we don't want to fire anybody. We want to continue growing the company and adding people. We want to add more doctors. We want to add nurses. We want to add professional people that can help us grow the company. And that's what we're doing. So we're investing in the company. We're investing in the infrastructure to lower our operating costs. We're trying to cut out any superfluous things that are costing us money, old photocopiers and printers that we're paying leases on, half of which don't work. You know, an office that has worked so far, but we can make more efficient. Things like that. So we're trying to introduce business practices that we've done in Canada and that we've seen others do across the U.S. That work in this environment and focus again on the patient. That's the kind of the broad plan.
And I think the one thing we'd want from you in that process, that we want to get feedback from you. We don't have all the answers. We ask you. I'm begging, give us your ideas of how we can make it more efficient.
So it's we're looking to put more patients through and drive more revenue. I mean, we're business people. We're here to run a business and a profitable business. You know, this has to make money. So we want it to make money. We know how, and that's what we're here to do. And we hope we can do it with you guys. And I realize, I know it's tough. You know, it's not going to be easy. And a lot of you guys are looking at me like, this guy's an asshole. I get that. You know, I'm sorry. It's the way you feel. Anyone else have any questions? Again, you know, I'm here. You know, I'm trying really hard. We're writing checks, and you know, I appreciate Bill's position. I appreciate everyone's position.
That's my position.
Where you sit, where you know where your head's at. No, not being a child with this, Bill. I appreciate that
it's not childish at all.
Well, we're not talking about where you're actually sitting. So everyone's in a unique position because of the relationship with Paul, and I know a lot of people aren't going to be comfortable working with us going forward, and that's fine.
Oh, and that'll be the patients probably too, because Paul's a good man,
and
a lot of people came because of him.
Great, and we recognize that, and there will be, you know, we're prepared to lose those patients, you know, and we recognize that, and that's okay. We understand that. Same thing, that happens, but we're going to be adding more people and more patients and appealing to more patients. So that's okay.
And thank goodness we've got good doctors, because the people are coming here not to see Paul, they're coming to see the doctors.
Yes, we do have great doctors, yes.
We have some fabulous doctors, so I'm quite comfortable with the strength of our doctors who see us through.
It's a tough position that we're all in. I appreciate that. We're, you know, yeah.
I was just wondering, when do you plan on kind of rolling out? Because I know that this is great to kind of talk about, but I know for myself personally, I worry about, what are the phases are you planning to roll it out in phases? And how is it really gonna affect, us here? How is it gonna affect those physical offices like Spokane or Riverside or Bend? What kind of things are they gonna see? What kind of changes are we gonna see? Are we looking at, I know the Google app is coming, because it's something that we're having a problem with now, but are we gonna be doing things kind of first fire, that's what gets hit, obviously, but what are kind of what's your schedule, I guess?
Sure, okay, Michelle, so schedule, we want, ideally we'd be out of here in August, and, this clinic, this location is really, we treat it as a kind of a headquarters, so we don't like to say it's the most important location, but it's the location that we spend the most amount of time at, and we're going to base everything out of. It has some of the most experienced people. So we're going to look for a clinic, which is very close to here. We haven't defined that. We thought we had one, but we're going to look to find one that works. And then over the next couple of months, I'd say by August, we'll be in a new clinic, and then start layering in, I'm not sure if I said something outside. Weeks and months. So I think over the next few weeks, you'll see the integration of computer and telephone come in, and then move the clinic, and then over time we'll be using clinics in the other locations just to reflect the same changes that we're making to these, so they'll all look a little different. Matching furniture, signage, redo the IP, everything. So it was look at a cleaner platform for growth. So we're really, to answer your question, Michelle, we're trying to. The term is window dress. So make the business look better and operate better. So as we take it and grow it, we're building on a good clean foundation. So we have strong infrastructure, we have strong telephone, we have strong banking. We know where all our insurance is. We know where everything is in place, and that takes time to rationalize. And as we begin getting visibility on banking and all the contingent liabilities that we're working on, then we add the growth to it. And that September, October, we'll be likely actively opening clinics outside of Oregon, but very much focused on keeping Oregon. Oregon is really the engine room of the company, and we see we don't see that changing anytime soon. Oregon's a great state to do business with, from banking, from insurance, from every perspective. So we like it here. Yeah.
During this transitionary period, I imagine there's going to be some kind of shutdown. What during that, how long is this going to be? What are we supposed to do while we're not working?
The shutdowns would be over the weekend. So there would be like in terms of email and telephone systems. Those are fairly straight rollovers. So
just like working, because there's people who come in on Saturdays and stuff.
We'll have to figure that out as we go.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
As though we'll run it in parallel, we'll keep this going